investment influence sectors, oil and gas and power sector. And China is the leading investor in Myanmar till 2012. And then Thailand and Hong Kong stand second and third investors in Myanmar. We can see that for Vietnam can attract foreign direct investment mostly in manufacturing. Manufacturing sector can attract every year foreign direct investment in every year. And here's foreign direct investment inflow into Vietnam by countries. So this is foreign direct investment inflow in Myanmar and Vietnam. According to my, after running the linear regression model, these findings come out from Myanmar. The depreciation of Myanmar currencies discouraged the inflow of FDI into Myanmar. And increasing inflation rate leads to decrease the inflows of FDI. And labor force is helping the inflow of FDI. And then last one is the growth rate of GDP in Myanmar has a positive effect on the inflow of FDI. For Vietnam, a high degree of openness would increase the inflow of FDI. So here's some recommendations. The depreciation of currency of the host country increases exports. So Myanmar government, they should try to get some export-oriented FDI more. And macroeconomic instability as an effect on FDI. So the government should try to reduce the inflation rate. And then labor force, it's also a necessary for the inflow of FDI. But labor force must be skillful, especially in 2015 ASEAN Economic Community. So the government should try to upgrade the quality of labor force. And for growth rates of GDP, it's also the pooling federal FDI to the economy. So the government, they also should try to achieve the growth of FDI. So here's what Myanmar can learn from Vietnam experiences. So host country FDI policies are very important in attracting foreign direct investment. So Myanmar government, they should try to upgrade the extent of the degrees of openness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yetna, for the presentations. Any comments, suggestions? Dr. Wajra, please, and then Dr. Lee.
From the handout, and thank you for the information, the statistical information that is very good, and you made very good presentation on the make the picture quite clear for the audience about the amount, the volume of FDI in each sector and where it come from. But I have a question on the findings. Okay. It would be nice if you could show your econometric model and the econometrics result before you jump into the findings. When you make the presentation on your research work, think about you watch the movie. Okay, so it have to have the rationale step by step. Build and get into the climax of the building, the movie. Okay, it's the same thing, right? So you have to build up the information for your audience. Put some of the econometric analysis and the findings, so that can be linked to the findings. Okay, this is very important. Do you have the econometrics result to show? Yeah.
For now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have her.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, if you show the econometric results, then you can link to your finding. And another point that I want to make is that for the recommendations, again, it's very broad. Yeah, it's very broad, and it would be better to, if you want, you can make the connection between your finding, your conclusion, and policy recommendation, okay, and make it like very concrete on the recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dada.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vaishnav. Dr. Pia, please.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I agree with Dr. Vaishnav, but for the graph, I don't think it's really good graph. You maybe separate the sectors. Look at the graph, for instance. It's difficult to see. You see, any graph. Okay, that's fine. It's difficult to see how much actually in 2010 how much that the total investment, right? Or 2009 we don't see the figures.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can draw the tables or something is maybe better than this one. And the second point is the same as Dr. Vaishnav said, that you have to show econometrics in order to jump to the finding, because we don't know what is behind your result is correct or not. Okay, you have to present us that one before you go to the findings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pia. Any other comments? Dr. Wood, please.
How to call you Yadana? So Yadana,
Yatana, yeah.
Yadana. You said you have econometric analysis, but I didn't see it from your paper. Do you have it in your paper? Because in your paper, I saw the literature review, I saw the foreign trade, and all in statistics. It's not from the model. Because when you said econometric, I expect there must be some FDI model, C factors, and FDI or what. Do you have done any equations there?
Yeah, but in the literature review, I put, for example, here, growth rate of GDP. Why growth rate of GDP has a positive effect on FTR inflow. I already put the literature review about the growth rates of GDP.
And what I mean is that you see C1 or some other, they have gravity model. They have like that. Do you have equations?
Already have
And
an
then you write
equation.
it.
Yeah, linear
But
regression model.
I didn't see in the paper.
Yeah, but I'm sorry that I have.
Not the slides, but
Yeah.
the paper.
Yeah, that paper.
You have it.
Yeah,
In which chapter?
in chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Because I didn't see the explanation of the variables and so
Oh,
forth. That's what
maybe
you
Dr.
asked.
Wood, you got, maybe I sent you the old versions because she just sent me the new version before she came here about 2 days. Yes, she has the new version.
Ah.
Can you show us?
I put it in my share folder, but it cannot be saved.
So for Myanmar, the linear regression model is log FTR equal to alpha 0 plus alpha 1 exchange rate, inflation, labor force, and GDP growth rate. And for Vietnam, it's only log openness.
Why?
Yeah.
The question is why.
Yeah, because firstly, I tried with most of the factors that were cited in previous studies that they such significant, but I have to exclude some factors due to the lack of complete data or the factors are statistical insignificance. That's why I have to exclude most of the factors, most of the variables.
Okay, Dr. Bob, please.
Now, I think this is important part. That's why we all would like to see it, because this is the way how you shape the model. If you put all major variables that happen to every country, but then when you put into the case of Vietnam, in this case, right?
Yeah.
Then a big question come out: why? What happened? Why when we said your main income really depends on your salary, then this is not important anymore, because this is almost become the fact, and that's much more important than look at this equation. I will have a big question on that one, either because of something. If you said because of no data, then it doesn't mean that the variables are not important. It's because you don't have information. See, so it's very important for you for this part to explain why it happened like that. Okay, academically it's very important. Technically also it's very important. And I think this trade express they can help you. I don't know.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you,
Dr. Pia first, and then Dr. Buller.
Yeah.
Dr. Pia.
Your title is the comparative, right? The comparative
Yeah,
of
study of FTR in Vietnam and Myanmar.
Yes. So how do you compare this one? Because the model is different between two. One have openness index, but the other doesn't have. So how do you compare?
Doctor, I changed my title, not comparative. Study of foreign direct investment in Myanmar and Vietnam, and we want to learn what we can learn from Vietnam experiences in attracting foreign direct investment. I don't want to compare the factors. Just want to learn what Vietnam had achieved in attracting FTI. For example, here we can see the openness to trade is a significant factor in attracting foreign direct investment in Vietnam. That's why we can also learn that if Myanmar government they can adopt they can extend some openness policies, so we can also attract foreign direct investment like Vietnam.
So do you have a factor that openness in your models in Myanmar? Can you put that one?
And unfortunately, openness of Myanmar is it's not significant in Myanmar model.
It's not significant mean what?
Significance means because of the regression analysis, openness it's not significant, and that's why after running the regression, I have, for example, I have put GDP growth rate, real GDP, inflation, exchange rate, labor force, telephone, openness, and population in regression analysis for Myanmar and also for Vietnam. But after running the regression, just only exchange rate, inflation, labor force, and GDP growth rate are significant in Myanmar model, and openness is significant for Vietnam.
So this one is the theoretical model, right? Or empirical models. You already, which one that you go first? You just test which variable is affect to the FDI, or you have the theories behind before you run the regressions. Which one is come first? Do you understand my point?
No,
You
no.
just, okay,
I'm not
this
clear.
one may be significant, okay, then you put in the model. This one may be significant, then you put in the model. Or you compare, you starting with the theories. The theory should be, the theory said that, okay, if there is the open, then the FDI will increase. If there is the income of other country, then the FDI increase. Which one does come first for your analysis?
I choose the variables that are significant in the model. And for example, I run exchange rate, inflation, labor force, and GDP growth, and for example, and openness. But openness didn't show sign of significance. That's why I didn't take it as a model.
So,
Really try to help. You see, remember when we talk about the research methodology, I said you must have concept. And you have the concept model, and then you adapt this concept, general concept model, into your country situation. That still not empirical, but it's still concept model that apply in your case. The same for Vietnam or Myanmar. You might have special case that need a specific variable for that. That's what Ajahn Piyat said, that that's concept, okay, or theory. And then you plug in the figures. You have to tell the whole story so that people understand. Okay? But if you test yourself without using the concept, and then you have this is your model, then people will get confused because it does not follow the theory and concept. Okay? So I think you have your concept, but you probably omit it when you do it. And that's the big missing point. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wood. Any other comments? Dr. Buddha, please, sorry.
Okay, I think so. In this moment, you need to rely or to improve it. So actually, the two countries it should be have apply quite similar model. So you should not include only one variable for the Vietnam. So even though that variable is insignificant, it doesn't matter. So the way of economic view, so whether it's insignificant, you have to explain what the reason behind. So that the important thing you should that not only select the variable that's significant, so it's not I think it's important. So and another one, so can you take a look in, I don't know what's like, the figure of FDI inflow in Myanmar and Vietnam. So what happened to the two countries? So the FDI is slightly increased in 2007, 2008. Go back to the PowerPoint. Yeah, that's on the. Down.
That's right. I want to apologize. That it's
No, that's one.
okay. I know what you want to see. It's
Yeah, that's one.
yeah. The red one is Vietnam and the black one is Myanmar.
So what happened with the Vietnam? Why the FDI improved very highly during 2008?
Yeah, because 2050 Vietnam amended foreign direct investment law, and there may be some policies that can attract foreign direct investment more and more. Yeah, favorable foreign investment policies. 2015, they amended the foreign direct investment law.
2015,
Yeah.
2008.
After 2015, the invoice increasing. Sorry, 2005.
2005. Should be 2005. Okay.
Maybe try to explain more. The last point. So your finding. So here the exchange rate actually is opposite with the theory. I mean, you're saying that the depreciation of the exchange rate is called FDI. But in theory, they're saying that actually if you attract more FDI if your exchange rate is depreciation or not. You have any-
Yeah, for foreign direct investment, in my point of view, the exchange rate has ambiguous signs. It can also be positive and it can also be a negative. Yeah, the explanation is for negative side. The depreciation of Myanmar currency, it discouraged the inflow of foreign direct investment into Myanmar. For example, when funds make investment in Myanmar and the country depreciation of exchange rate will be unfavorable for investors when they transfer or send their monies to their home countries. They have to exchange that rate, right? That's why it will make investor maybe disappointed. They were disappointed because they have to exchange this rate.
Try to explain more.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Bullard. We have Dr. Wood and then we have Dr. Wu, please.
Just you see when you said, well, inflation rate high, then they return the money, they have exchange. What happens if I have money there and come here? Inflow. It should be better, right? Have better exchange rate. So it also can be inflow. That will also increase. This is two ways. It's two ways. Really difficult to use just this and try to pinpoint this is the case. You know? Be careful about that. I know I'm not in this trade and so on. But I'm interested in the graph just now. The graph just now, yeah. My question I just wonder as if I'm running the model, maybe this is an open to all, but just asking the floor. This kind of, to me, is a kind of special case or a specific shock. When we run a model like a case, should we omit this part or we can just add it there as a normal model data set? Just my curious question.
Thank you very much.
May I answer?
You want
Dr.
to
Wood?
answer? Okay,
Yeah,
please. Then.
we just put dummy in this econometric model. Just put dummy to
Okay.
separate the case that in order to have chalk or something.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pia. Dr. Wu, please.
To ask that when you calculate or when you put variable, did you put the trade liberalization like WTO and bilateral trade agreement with US? Did the major trading company for the countries for Vietnam? From what I see, I think that this is just my speculation, okay? Because I haven't, I think should have a study. For the year 2005, 2008, that could be the fact that U.S. has normal trade relation with with Vietnam in 2001, something that it get affected by that after opening up, and also WTO member accession, something like that. This kind of thing has a very it is a significant indicator for attracting FDI based on my experience in advising the people to attract the trade foreign direct investment from US to Laos. Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Dr.
Like to respond, please. Yeah. No? Okay. Any other comments, or maybe Dr. Mia, please?
Okay, last point. What did you learn? What is Myanmar learn of FDI from Vietnam?
What did Myanmar learn from the FDI from
Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Yeah. So, host countries' foreign direct investment policies are very important. That's why Vietnam can attract FDI that Myanmar could attract. So Myanmar's government, they should try to upgrade the extent of degree of openness. Because Myanmar government, they opened their economy in recent year. So they have to update their openness policies to FDI. That's lesson learned from Vietnam.
Just only this one, right?
Yeah, only this one.
Okay.
Yes, to add on that, when you have a open policy and you reform policy and so on, how about political stability in the country? Do you consider that in your variable or not? For example, like crisis in the country happen very often.
Yeah.
Would it, balance each other between your openness policy, the openness of the policy, and the instability in political instability in the country? I think Vietnam has that. Is more stable.
Yeah, I have put the recommendation, like Dr. said, in my suggestions, in my paper, but not in the PowerPoint. For example, while Vietnam has been a communist state, it has been opening to the rest of the world for decades, but Myanmar, it remained isolated most of the time, having no experiences in attracting foreign direct investment. That's why Myanmar needs to learn from Vietnam in dealing with the international community. And instead, Myanmar faces a series of armed conflicts in the areas in the areas into which FDI could have powers, such as border area, Cayenne, Kachin, and Shan states, etc. This political instability and stable institution setting need to be addressed soon.
Yes, I understand that, but I think the most area that can attract FDI, I think, is in the border area, which has a lot of natural resources. Then, how can you address that? I think that Myanmar still learn. I think not only from Vietnam, could be other countries as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moore. Any other comments? Or maybe Dr. Kintida, please. Dr. Kintida is our country advisor. Dr. Kintida, can you use microphone, please?
I would like to clarify one point about exchange. According to some literature, the depreciation of FDI recipient country currency reduced the cost of capital for foreign entrepreneurs, which in turn stimulates the influx of FDI. However, when they send back their profit to home country, it will be unfavorable for them. Therefore, the expected sign of the coefficient of the real exchange rate is ambiguous. So this is the literature. This comes from the literature. She used this literature. Based on this literature, she tried to explain explanation in her paper. Thank you very much for your valuable comments and suggestions. Now our country is trying to achieve more FDI. So. Your valuable suggestion definitely support the improvement of this paper, and also it support in trying the improvement of FDI, the large amount of FDI for our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kintida. Thank you very much, Ms. Zayatana, for the presentation. Please give.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Again, thank you very much for for all the comments, suggestions, and important recommendations for the students to improve their learnings and as well as their research papers. So I would like to end the session for this morning, and I would like to invite all of you for dinner.